hearing, a planning board public hearing at their next meeting on August 4th. And this has to do with Lucian's Entertainment, which is proposing a nightclub at the old Sandell Dodge dealership. Does everyone know where that is? It's on Route 11 across the street from the Chinese cafe. So I just mentioned that, for, and inform the public and, to let you all know. It's been publicized, so, the notice is out there, but I think it helps, to kind of mention it verbally. So as liaison, I think I'll be mentioning all of the public hearings that come up for the planning board so that we get a little better communications about those issues with the public. So that's all.
Thank you.
August 4th.
I have a couple things. One is that in the last 4 weeks from the previous regular town board meeting, I found that our workshops that we had before were very helpful. So I am going to ask to reinstitute the town board workshop meetings again. I've asked or discussed with the board members, and obviously it's open to all of the public to attend and listen. The previous time was on Tuesdays prior to any town board meeting at 3 o'clock. And it's sometimes inconvenient for some or all. But right now that is what I would like to institute it to be, and open obviously with discussion from any of the board members, asking all to please try to attend for input. But if there is, we will start it back that way, and hopefully it'll work. If not, a possibility of changing the time, but right now it's going to be the Tuesday prior to the town board meeting at 3 o'clock. And the other information that I would like to bring up is that we are going to be placing an ad in the to look to hire a full-time assessor. This is it's come to our attention.
Move your other.
This was one of those.
That was that.
Good heavens.
There.
Anyway, we are going to put an ad in the, to advertise to hire a full-time assessor. And it's come to our attention that it's really necessary with the upcoming situation of the full assessment and the amount of folks that have requested it coming into the town, looking to be able to have someone available at any time of the day, not particularly just the afternoons. Obviously, Brad has also been, we've chatted with Brad, and he's aware and is welcome to apply as well. The specifics of it are being worked out with the comptroller and the legal department, but there will be, we will be advertising for a full-time assessor. I believe that's all that I have this evening as well. I'd like to...
Judy, you're doing it in the form of a motion to post that?
Certainly I would do that. I'd like to make a motion then to advertise to hire a full-time assessor. And Tony, help me if there's anything. The salary will be determined. We have gone out and looked at an average salary, and which will be determined. And I make a motion that this happens.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Discussion on that?
Oh, certainly.
I just want to make a few comments on that, just because I have some history with the shared services agreement that the town implemented a while back, and that's how Brad came to be our assessor, is that a few years ago, the state was looking at ways to implement new ways of sharing services amongst towns, specifically assessor's office, and how that could, shared service agreements could benefit towns throughout the state of New York. What we did in Cicero is we partnered with the town of Salina in order to come up with a shared service agreement in which Brad would share and divide his time between Salina and Cicero. This was a cost savings to the town of Cicero of probably about $29,000, probably $30,000, just in salary alone, due to the fact that we were sharing the cost of a full-time assessor with Salina, with the benefits and everything like that. I do have more specific information. Also, by dissolving the shared services agreement, the town is in jeopardy of losing about $82,000 in state aid if we do not follow through with the shared service agreement, which was implemented a few years back. So I think it would not be a wise decision to look for a full-time assessor and dissolve the shared service agreement, because it has a lot of benefits to the town, not to mention the last and probably something we cannot put a price tag on is when we went to the full evaluation process and we retained the service of GAR Associates, part of the plan was to bring Brad on board to oversee that project, its implementation, and not only that, after it was implemented, to be able to keep our roles updated so we would not have a problem like we had a few years ago where the roles had not been updated for 30 or 40 years and there was inequity in the role. So the thought process and the plan in bringing a new full-time assessor would significantly dissolve, I think it would thwart the process and everything that we've worked very hard on in the town to straighten out the assessor's office, come up with a fair and equitable role, and also to keep that role current. And by Brad, one of the highly recommended, one of the best assessors in the state, would be on board through its implementation and keeping our roles current like he's done in the town of Salina. That's my thought process. I hope the board reconsiders, because there's lots of benefits to keeping the shared service agreement.
In response to some of your discussion, Jim, the GAR Associates we are paying $1 million for, and their completion of this is, we still are looking at 2 years before we are in full completion. Until we are in full assessed value, we will not realize the $82,000, and that is a one-time shot. As far as, and I do appreciate Brad's experience, I would certainly hope that we are not looking at this, our full assessed value, as being geared towards one particular assessor. It would be my understanding that any assessor fully qualified for the position would be able to complete and follow through on a full assessed value town. I do have some knowledge and experience of assessing and appraising, and it is a professional service, and it is required when you hold an appraiser's or professional assessor's license. Therefore, he working along with GAR, it is an experience that I believe any assessor would be able to do.
Thank you. I think I left out one figure also, is we have the $29,000 for salary, which was saved, $82,000 for the one-time implement, which Judy just mentioned, and also I believe there's about $60,000 in state maintenance aid, also under our current program and plan, which is in jeopardy. So. I missed the figure.
Any other discussion?
There's a motion on the table.
Yes.
Mr. Conway,
No.
Mr. Jennings,
Yes.
Ms. Zambrano,
Yes.
Mr. Coral,
No.
and Ms. Boyke.
Yes. Thank you. With that, have a good evening. I would make a motion that we close the meeting.
Second.
All in
Prepared for that.